A warm welcome, everyone. I am Ann Metcalf. I'm a healthy food, conscious eating, conscious living advocate. There's so much information out there, and I just think it's important that we can, one, we do our own research. Two, we listen to our body's innate wisdom, and we look at research that's come from the ancients. you know, the Ayurvedic over 5,000 years ago, where they studied the whole body, the physical, the mental, the emotional, and what was happening to the body and why. And so today is a continuation of sorts of last week where we looked at lectins. And so this is beyond lectins, the power of soaking, sprouting, and fermenting. And I know some of you do this a lot and have for a long time. So I'm just presenting this as information. That's all it is. And um, yeah, and if you've got recipes and your own sort of innate wisdom, share it on YouTube, Facebook, and so that we can all gain from each other's wisdom. So traditional food wisdom had answers long before the scientific studies. It's like the science today is proving what the ancients already knew. And last week we explored the confusion around lectins, those plant-based compounds often labeled as anti-nutrients. Nightshades, too, have sparked similar debate, leaving many unsure about what to eat and what to avoid. And depending on who you listen to, lectins are either the root of inflammation or harmless when eaten as part of a balanced whole food diet. So, how do we know what to believe? Well, one, we listen to our body and also do your own deeper dive research. Here's something grounding. Plants have always had natural defense systems, but humans have always known how to prepare them. Long before there were labs or labels, people learned how to soften, ferment, and coax the best out of what the earth gave us. These traditions of soaking, sprouting, and fermenting, they're not trends, they're wisdom. So today there's so much noise. One person says never eat grain, another says raw nuts are healthiest, someone else swears by sourdough, while others say ferments can fix everything. But in reality, healing and nourishment don't come from extremes. They come from how we relate to food, how we prepare it, and whether we allow time and care to guide us. And when you're doing your own cooking, a lot of that extra love makes a difference too. Soaking grains, legumes, nuts, and seeds helps break down the compounds like phytic acid and lectins, making these foods easier to digest and the nutrients more available. Sprouting takes this a step further. It activates the enzymes and waking up the seed's living potential. And fermentation, that beautiful alchemy of time, bacteria, and patience, transforms hard to digest foods into probiotic rich support for our gut and our immune system. Ayurveda, the ancient science of life and longevity, affirms this traditional wisdom beautifully. According to Ayurveda, food should be light, digestible, and aligned with one's digestive fire, also known as Agni. Hard foods like beans and grains are considered guru, meaning heavy, and soaking is a way to soften them and begin the digestive process before they even reach the body. Soaked foods are also said to carry more ojas, the subtle essence that supports vitality, clarity, and immunity. Sprouting from an Ayurvedic view increases prana, the living energy of food. And when a seed sprouts, it moves from dormancy to life. This awakened life force is especially nourishing when gently cooked and spiced to match one's constitution. Fermentation, too, is seen as sacred transformation. Foods like takra, which is spiced buttermilk, naturally fermented pickles, or homemade lassi are cherished for their ability to balance digestion and support gut health. but only when used mindfully, according to the season and to body type. And there's different websites online. Joyful Belly is one, and Andrea Haley Sankaran is Better Veg. You can actually get, they have a test. It's an online assessment of what is your body type. You've got there's pitta, there's vata, there's kapha, and we're born with it. And we're also a blend of all those. Which one are you stronger? Um, and so it's that's sort of an important part of our eating process, is to understand this ancient uh, wisdom of how our bodies work. And so in this view, how do we prepare food? It's not just a step before eating, it's part of the healing. Ayurveda teaches that food becomes medicine when prepared with reverence, intention, and awareness of nature's rhythms. When diet is wrong, medicine is of no use. When diet is correct, medicine is not needed. And that's an ancient Ayurvedic proverb. Certain foods especially benefit from these practices. Beans and legumes are best soaked for 12 to 24 hours before cooking and then rinsing. Nuts and seeds benefit from a shorter soak or can be sprouted to awaken their vitality. Whole grains, including gluten containing ones, become more digestible when soaked or fermented, which is why traditional sourdough, made with time and care, is often better tolerated than conventional bread. Lentils are excellent candidates for sprouting, while cabbage, root vegetables, and dairy have long been transformed into healing ferments like sauerkraut, kimchi, yogurt, and kefir. And it's really important to know your source, right? If there's a brand that you enjoy or you feel good, okay, that's good. I'm glad you found that. And check into, how do they make the kimchi? How do they make the yogurt or the kefir? And of course, not all ferments are created equal. A healthy living ferment is unpasteurized, often refrigerated, and made with simple, recognizable ingredients. You won't find vinegar or preservatives in true ferments. And the best ones carry a subtle tang, fizz, or a scent that sparks of life. On the other hand, shelf-stable jars with sugar as a main ingredient, or kombuchas that are more soda than symbiotic tonic, don't offer the same benefit, even if the label says fermented. So as consumers, we need to really understand those labels and what does it really mean, and what is that company doing? How are they fermenting? Is it through a long traditional process? And yes, sourdough really can be better than conventional bread, but only when it's made with true fermentation, not shortcuts or additives. Many commercial sourdoughs are just white bread in disguise. Authentic sourdough takes time, wild cultures, and care. It's a living tradition, not just a marketing term. In all of this, the invitation is simple. Rather than fearing food, we can return to preparing it with respect. Can we do that? Absolutely. Instead of avoiding certain ingredients, we can ask, have I prepared this food in a way that supports my body? Does it feel nourishing today? Can I trust the rhythm of tradition over the noise of trends? Because we all know tons of trends, and they come and they go and they come back again, and science says this, and oh, then the next scientist says that. As a consumer, it's like, ay, 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 ay. Like, how do we know these things? Our ancestors didn't need dietary studies or supplement protocols. They had rhythm with the land, with the soil, intuition, and patience. And maybe that's what we're being called back to. Now, if you'd like to try this for yourself, start simple. Soak some oats overnight. Begin a small batch of fermented carrots. Taste the difference And how does your body respond? If you missed last week's discussion on lectin, you'll find that in my app, Authentic Sacred Design. And when we honor the food through time and transformation, it becomes more than fuel. It becomes a partner in our healing. To forget how to dig the earth and tend the soil is to forget ourselves. And that is from Mahatma Gandhi. So, lots of food for thought today, and I hope that these conscious living conversations that I have inspire you to do your own research. Look, my app, Authentic Sacred Design, it's got how to use the pendulum, how to use your body, and you hold that apple or that oatmeal porridge and hold it close to your body and say, is this what my body needs today? And you will have tested already the yes or the no, and it's different for everybody. And sometimes it even changes for the same person each day. So, our body is changing, and maybe we don't need what we think we need for that day when it's something else. So, anyway, have fun, play with it all. And I look forward to hearing your comments. You can always contact me at rosiesjoy11@gmail.com and comment. I'd love to hear, what are your recipes? What are you using that works for you? And maybe that'll work for somebody else. Until next time, toodaloo. Thank you.